my name's Cora Jones. This is my presentation for History 209 over The Son of the Revolution. So The Son of the Revolution is a story about the author Lang Hang's upcoming. His upcoming was during the major cultural change and political change as well. That was the Cultural Revolution. This came from the rise of the need for, desire for communist power. During the revolution, the plan of the communists were to get rid of the intellectuals. That included scholars, teachers, also landlords and businessmen. I think that the plan was for them to get rid of them so they could, they didn't have the chance to uprise against them. The communist people just didn't want anyone to go against them, or against Chairman Mao and what he had in store. I think it was because they were seen as a threat to the communist revolution and they just wanted to put a stop to it before it even began. So that kind of goes into who the people of value were, and that was the people that were wholeheartedly for Chairman Mao's plans and that completely supported him. And then the ones that were criticized were the ones that disagreed, and that included the landlords and the intellectuals and even the wealthy. And then that kind of ties into the Four Olds, which is something that was heavily criticized, which was the old customs, cultures, habits, and ideas. They wanted to eliminate these to lower the chances of uprising. If the Four Olds weren't implemented, then there was no chance of plotting against the communist ways. The views and the plans for Mao, the people that really followed this were the younger generation, and I think this is because they didn't really have a grasp on what society was like before Mao. And I think that's what kind of caused a generational divide. The older people were used to life before Mao. They were used to being able to read whatever they wanted, practice whatever religion they desired, and the younger generation just didn't understand that because they never went through it. It was just kind of all that they had grown up with. And then there were the soldiers that fought for the revolution, and these were the Red Guards. They were the ones that performed the raids to kind of get rid of the old materials, like the books, paintings, and posters. Anything that wasn't approved or was kind of against the plan of the Cultural Revolution. In the book, Lang's father is assaulted by the Red Guards and even robbed by them. And I think that's just a little too aggressive for what they were supposed to be doing. They were supposed to be going in and getting rid of all these old materials, but instead they beat him and stole his money. And that's not how they should have handled it. And invading someone's home is already just wrong and aggressive. But what stuck out to me was in the beginning of the book, Lang's lifestyle just seemed pretty straightforward. His parents were both had really distinguished jobs, and they were for the Communist Party. His father had a significant role in the newspaper, and his mother had the role in Changsha Public Security Bureau. And they both worked long hours, never saw their family often, in hopes of being a part of the Communist Party. But then his mother is given a righteous cap because she criticizes the Communist Party, and then she's sent to a labor reform. And it just shows how fast life changes in this time, because the mother was completely for the Communist Party until she criticized it, and then it just disgraced the whole family and caused a divide between them, and it just kind of drove them all apart. It just kind of shows devotion to family was challenged because they were willing to give up seeing their family for following Mao. I think that there was just a lot of conflict throughout this Cultural Revolution, especially between families, and it just caused divides and violence. And I think this was a really interesting book, and Lang's perspective was great. Awesome. Thanks.